Aloha and welcome to hearing with Senate Committee on Economic Development and Tourism. Today is Tuesday, February 10th, 2026. And this is our 1 p.m. agenda. We're in conference room 229. This hearing is being streamed live on YouTube. In the likely event that we must abruptly end this hearing due to technical difficulties, the committee will reconvene on Thursday, February 12th at 1 p.m. in conference room 229. This agenda has one bill, and we're here for decision-making on SB 2045 relating to combat sports. Okay. Senate Bill 2045 relating to combat sports, we are passing with an SD1 by adopting DCCA's request regarding board or commission composition and adopting the Boxing Commission's recommendations by clarifying that the required on-site medical professional is a licensed physician, clarifying when and under what circumstances the Deputy Combat Sports Commissioner is to submit a written report, removing language relating to a combat sports registry, clarifying the payment requirements for licensed promoters, and removing the ambulance requirement, clarifying that a licensed physician be on site and that an inspector coordinates in advance with the nearest emergency room or hospital, and clarifying that the mandate for the commission to appoint inspectors, making technical non-substantive amendments as necessary, and defecting the date to July 1st, 2050. Any discussions? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote, Chair goes aye.
Let's get ready to rumble. Chair votes yes. Senator Kai votes yes. Senator Fukunaga is excused. Senator Kim excused. Senator Favela.
Aye.
Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you, and with that, we are adjourned. Hello and welcome to the joint hearing with the Senate Committee on Economic Development and Tourism and Senate Committee on Housing. This is our 1:01 p.m. agenda. We have a 2-minute time limit for all testifiers, and this agenda has one bill, Senate Bill 2187, relating to the Department of Business, Economic Development and Tourism. We have one testifier providing comments today, Director Tokioka from Department of Business, Economic Development and Tourism. Okay, I don't see. Dennis, are you testifying on behalf of Director Tokioka?
Yes.
2187.
87. Here, you want mine?
This is. Oh. Well, I think we stand on our testimony. Did I miss? I'm sorry. Yeah, deem it standard, it's written testimony.
Okay, I'll take that. Okay, anybody else wishing to testify on Senate Bill 2187? Seeing none, members, any questions? Okay, seeing none. Okay, members, we are going to pass with an SD1 making any technical non-substantive amendments as necessary and changing the effective date to July 1st, 2050. Any discussion? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote, Chair goes aye.
I vote yes. Senator Fukunaga excused. Senator Kim.
Aye.
Senator Favela.
Aye.
Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you.
For the Committee on Housing, same recommendation for Senate Bill 2187 to pass with amendments. Chair votes aye.
Members, SB 2187, Chair's recommendation passed with amendments. Chair votes aye. I vote aye. Senator Elefante.
Aye.
Senator Rhodes.
Aye.
Senator Favela.
Aye.
Chair recommendation is adopted.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. With that, we are. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay, sorry. I got, sorry. Sorry. On the amendments, wait, let me do this. Passing with an SD1 making any technical non-substantive amendments as necessary and changing the effective date to July 1st, 2060. Okay, we got to revote on it. Or, okay, we're taking the vote again. Chair goes aye. Vice Chair for the vote.
I vote yes. Senator Fukunaga excused. Senator Kim.
It's just changing the date.
Senator Favela.
Aye.
Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you.
Same recommendation for the Committee on Housing for Senate Bill 2187 to pass with amendments. Chair votes aye.
Members, SB 2187, Chair's recommendations with amendments. Chair votes aye. Any members voting with reservations? Any members voting no? With all others voting aye, recommendations adopted.
Thank you, members. With that, we are adjourned. Aloha and welcome to the hearing with Senate Committee on Economic Development and Tourism. This is our 1:02 p.m. agenda, and we have a 1-minute time limit for all testifiers, and we have various agendas to get through this afternoon. This agenda has 8 bills. First up is Senate Bill 2072 relating to tourism. First up, Director Tokioka for Department of Business, Economic Development and Tourism.
Yep, DBED stands in its written testimony.
Thank you. Next up, Randall John Francisco on behalf of EDT and support. Anyone else wishing to testify on this measure? Seeing none, members, any questions?
Question to debate.
Senator Kim?
Question. What's the cost benefit would be for us? I mean, how much is it and what do we expect to gain?
Well, for one thing, I think we need to point out there are there's no Michelin star restaurant in Hawaii. So I think the difficulty would be in selecting restaurants to feature. And therefore, I think while DBED supports the intent of this measure, it would be difficult to do.
Then why are you supporting this?
I think because it's not an administrative bill, but it's not an administrative bill, but we support the intent.
Again, I always have a hard time when you guys support the intent, because why would we put laws on the books when maybe there's no way of it being of benefit or what the cost is? What is the cost?
I would think the cost would be minimal. It would be maybe $5,000
For what?
to come up with a list. And it would be that while there are no Michelin star restaurants in Hawaii, there have been some recommendations for Michelin star restaurants. But I think the difficulty with going to that is they are opinions. And, it'd be sort of, how should we say, subjective if you select someone's opinion over someone else's.
Right. So this is like a Yelp in a sense that Michelin recommends certain restaurants, and does those restaurants get more attention than others?
I would think they get some recognition, yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
okay, I just have a hard time understanding this measure and the need for it. Madam Chair,
Senator Favela?
So, what is the potential of, we establish this $5,000 list, what is the potential of the return?
for one restaurant maybe.
Well, actually, no restaurants,
No
because
restaurants.
nobody has a star, nobody is.
No, but this is
Michelin
being done in
star.
other areas, right? I mean, other places, right?
Yeah, they have
So
Michelin
what is the
star
statistics in, I mean, of course, Hawaii is very different than any place else, but when they had established this, what was the initial cost, right? You're saying 5,000 here, but what was the initial cost? But they started it in the continent, and what was the return to the place?
Frankly, I don't know of any place that has promoted their Michelin star restaurants.
Okay, I think that's enough
Personally.
said.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody, any other questions? Okay, seeing none, Thanks, Dennis. Moving on to Senate Bill 3049, relating to trade-oriented production capacity grant program. First up, DBED.
Yeah, DBED stands in its written testimony in support of this.
Thank you. Next up, Hawaii Technology Development Corporation, Chung Lam.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. HTC stand on this bill testimony.
Thank you. Next up, Lauren Zerbo, testifying for Hawaii Food Industry Association on Zoom.
Not present on Zoom, Chair.
Thank you. Pam Tumpop from Maui Chamber of Commerce in support. Willem Annenson for the Maritime Group in support. Brian Miyamoto, Hawaii Farm Bureau, also in support. Sherry Manoy, Chamber of Commerce.
Good afternoon,
Tonka.
Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee, Chamber of Commerce, and Lawrence written testimony in support.
Thank you. Next up, Randall John Francisco, individual, also in support. Anybody else wishing to testify on this measure? Seeing none, members, any questions?
Question to DBED. Can't you folks do this without a bill?
No. Grant-making authority does not rest with DBED.
What does it rest with?
I think there is, HTDC has a grant-making authority. Our CBED program has a grant-making authority, but it's limited to nonprofit companies.
So when you say grant-making authority, what exactly are we talking about?
I think it has to be in statute that this program allows you to select in the companies, individual companies to make grants to without going through the procurement process.
So basically, we're allowing you, DBED, to give money to private companies without going through procurement? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
So why would we want to do this?
A grant is selecting qualified companies to determine if they meet the requisite rules that are promulgated.
Right? But I mean, what prompts this measure? What need is out there that we aren't seeing already or doing without this measure?
There are no grant programs.
Right. So is there a need for a grant program, is what I'm asking?
Especially for the startup companies, yes.
Okay, so right now, HCDC is the one that gives grants.
For manufacturing companies, but they have to be at a certain level of operation.
Okay, and do you folks have the capacity to do this without any more bodies, creating another whole set of bureaucracy?
We have in the past given out SBA grants
Okay,
to businesses for marketing purposes, because the SBA rules did not allow for manufacturers, but for marketing purposes. So we were able to do that.
okay, but you didn't answer my question. So what are the needs? I mean, do you folks have the capacity as far as bodies without growing government
Yes.
to do this?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so why is there a blank amount appropriated out of the general fund?
Oh, we recommended 300,000 as a good start.
Well, that's why I ask you, is it going to take you money or whatever? You said you have it within your already there.
Oh, the capacity, the human resource capacity, not the financial capacity to
Yeah,
make the grant.
right.
Yeah,
More
we don't have,
bureaucracy.
we don't have the financial capacity for it.
Okay, so you're going to add on, when you guys cannot even do some of the other things that you folks are supposed to be doing to keeping track of HTA and everything else that's going on?
That I can't answer to.
Okay, I don't think you guys made a good enough argument why we need this.
Dennis, can you guys provide examples of businesses that may be interested in applying for the grants provided in this bill?
Sure, we can. Some of the grants that we made, or microloans that we've made to companies that are fairly new, instead of a loan, which was for a small amount, could benefit from a grant program. And we can provide some names of companies that have benefited.
And then, in regards to, what's the expectancy of the matching funds on behalf of the state and then the applicant?
The matching funds, for instance, through our CBID loan program, we make loans with partners who also put in a certain amount of money to lend. So it's leveraged, the state money is leveraged with the private sector money. And we think that perhaps this could be done with a grant program to have a private sector entity or nonprofit entity also match or be partner with this program.
So if the state appropriated 300,000, how would you guys go about selecting who received those grants, and try prioritizing?
We would have to develop rules for that. At this point, to determine which would be the main beneficiaries of this, I would think it would be the smaller business, not a startup, not one that is just starting up, but one that has somewhat of a track record, not too sophisticated of a track record, but one that has shown that they have the ability to continue with the business.
So between you guys and HTDC, would it be better to push it towards HTDC since?
I think the
we're so
HTDC
technology?
manufacturing grant program is a very good grant program, and if anything, that should continue because it is for those that have more of a proven track record.
So you guys would be like, not new startup, but the one right in between, we're just kind of trying to help them get over the hump of
Exactly.
advancement. Is that what you guys looking at? Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, further questions. So why wouldn't we just want to expand what HTDC is doing instead of creating a whole nother bureaucracy for you guys to then, and then the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing, right?
That makes a lot of
So
sense.
then why do you
yes.
guys want to take on more? That's my whole thing.
I think
Already-
it's because it's an unserved population at the moment.
Yeah, but there are other places we can put it instead of with DBED to create a whole new grant thing when we already have a grant entity, right?
Yeah. Well, there are, I think the HTDC, and correct me if I'm wrong, Chung, is limited to manufacturers.
Well, we can change that.
Yeah.
Why can't we change that? We're changing this now to give it, you guys start up when you're not really doing it. So why couldn't we change their entity?
Yes, so our manufacturing systems program is slightly different than this program where we provide a 20% rebate on equipment and training. This bill provides more flexibility, includes infrastructure, and this bill specifically focuses on export manufacturers as opposed to our manufacturing program covers the variety of all manufacturing happening in Hawaii.
Yeah, why can't you expand if we allow you to?
I think the challenge of expanding is that, for HCDC, we're trying to be good stewards of state taxpayer dollars, and we want to focus those resources in the areas we think we can have the largest economic impact.
Okay, so
And
there's
for
no
our
economic impact, we give it to DBED and there's no real economic impact then? If you guys think there's no economic impact, why would then we put it in
I think there's a
DBED?
lot of potential economic impact for export-focused areas. It's just for HCDC, that is just not the areas we are focused on. We're focused on developing like
Understand, but
technology
why
sector
can't we
here.
focus on that? Why can't you focus?
I think when you try to focus on too many different things at the same time, you get diluted.
Okay, how many things is DBED focusing on right now? Do you have any idea?
Yeah.
I don't think I can speak on behalf of the
No,
whole
but I'm just
agency.
saying, they just got housing now.
Many things.
Anything, you got everything, kitchen sink, so we're adding one more thing?
Yes.
I will also add there's HCDC is currently funding the manpower for this program through federal dollars with our MEP, NIST MEP, and that program has been unfunded since September with potential funding happening. It's still up in the air through March and hopefully for one more year. So the question of will HCC even have the manpower to run this program in the future is currently in question as well.
Well, they're asking for 300,000 to give them manpower, we could give it to you guys. I mean, I'm just trying to see how we make government efficient instead of having all these little pockets and all these new positions, and then we can't fill the positions. And then, yeah, it's just, I don't know that we look at the broad picture in doing stuff. We're so tunnel vision. I mean, we have GIAs, we have grants. A lot of these companies come in for grants, right? Or can come in for grants, right?
I don't know if it is to support their private enterprise.
We have a lot of private entities come in for GIAs. So, anyway, okay.
Thank you. Okay, next up, Senate Bill 3166 relating to Hawai'i Technology Development Corporation. First up, Trung Lam, Hawai'i Technology Development Corporation.
HTDC stands under written testimony.
Thank you. Next up, Lauren Zerbel on Zoom for Hawaii Food Industry Association.
Not present on Zoom, Chair.
Thank you. Next up, Clara Lee testifying for Normal Corporation. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, committee members. Sorry, I'm a little nervous first
I
time
mean,
doing
she
this.
scared everybody. Don't get nervous. She just asked me questions.
My name is Clara. I'm here on behalf of Normal Corporation in support of SB 3166. We were actually recipients of the HTDC MAP grants in 2024. And we're a startup in Kailua. We were founded in Kailua, and our headquarters are still there. We are a high-tech manufacturing firm. We manufacturing air conditioning and heat pump units in Kailua. And so I just want to share my support of appropriating funds to the MAP grant program. We were able to get assistance from them, like I said, in 2024. And other than, manufacturing heat pump units, our bigger mission is to bring manufacturing back to the islands so that we're not in a place where we depend on exports. Because that puts companies in a position where we have to spend money on shipping, on tariffs, and I think Hawaii could be a lot more self-sufficient if we had a more developed manufacturing economy here. The second mission that we have is to bring jobs back to Hawaii so that engineers, kids with higher degrees are not leaving the islands for the mainland. So we have over 80% of our workforce are UH Manoa grads, and we provide them with well-paying jobs, careers as engineers, as electricians, as mechanical engineers. So that's why I came in support of the bill.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, Valerie Harmon for Namaka Algae in support. Carlo Liquido for testifying for PE-COO Company in support. Charlie Field, Parmar Technologies in support. Namvu for Co-working Hawaii in support. Anthony John Escasa, Pacific Impact Zone in support. Grace Iwashita, Hawaiian King Candies LLC in support. Batogar Java with Purdy Company Limited, DB Island Princess in support. Sharnare Naiole, Coffees of Hawaii in support. Chamber of Commerce, Tonga in support.
Chamber of Commerce stands on this testimony in support.
Thank you. Doreen Wong.
Aloha, Chair, Vice Chair, the esteemed members of the committee, I stand in support of my written testimony.
Thank you. Anybody else wishing to testify on the measure? Seeing none, members, any questions? Senator Favela.
She's not available to us too. Oh, I guess. I guess we hear you. Wait, sorry. The question that I have is, I see there's support for it and I understand the need for it, but why is the appropriations for the 500,000 for a third-party consultant necessary instead of utilizing existing?
That's the next one.
Oh, is that the next one? Sorry.
Are we on 3166? 3166.
Sorry, wrong one. Okay, I'll wait.
Yeah, that's the next one.
I'm good.
Okay, so yeah, I got you. So the bill provides 100,000 in appropriation to fund an advanced manufacturing and cybersecurity specialist position. Was there a problem in getting the position funded in the supplemental budget request?
When I joined HCDC, I was not able to get it in the admin package.
Oh, yes.
And at that time, the MEP program, which is currently what we use to do our advanced manufacturing and our manufacturing initiatives, was still in existence. So since that time, the MEP has kind of been more uncertain. So I thought the best way forward to ensure we support advanced manufacturing, which supports all sectors we're focused on, including ocean and space, was to make sure we ask for a position.
Thank you. Moving on to Senate Bill 3167 relating to Hawaii Technology Development Corporation. First up, Trung with Hawaii Technology. Next up, Jimmy Freese, testifying for Fish Incorporated.
Yeah, Fish is down our written testimony. HCDC's been an immense help for high-tech companies like mine.
Thank you. Next up, Noah Pentelovich, testifying for Hohonu on Zoom.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Noah. I'm the head of hardware for Hohonu. I stand by my testimony. Hohonu is a local technology company offering flood intelligence solutions, including designing and manufacturing flood sensors here in Hawaii. We're in a strong position to grow and thrive, but as we grow, we will be constrained by local availability of specialized talent, availability of local suppliers capable of scaling with us, and logistics challenges related to both fulfillment of orders and imports of necessary components. These challenges are neither unique to Hohonu nor new. HCDC is well positioned to address these problems across the blue economy cluster, and we have a better chance of solving them by bringing in expertise and focus. We believe Senate Bill 3167 will enable that collaboration and success, and we strongly support its passage.
Thank you. Next up, Tonga testifying for Chamber of Commerce. Hawaii.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair. I'm Hawaii standing on our written testimony and support.
Thank you. George Yarborough, individual in person in support, no, not. Doreen Wong. Hi, aloha.
Aloha, Chair, Vice Chair, and esteemed members of the committee. Mahalo for your time and consideration of my testimony. I stand in support of my written testimony. I also wanted to highlight my background. So I'm here representing myself. I'm an ocean technology and innovation advisor. I'm also a part of a wide range of global and regional networks supporting ocean innovation and technology solutions. And over the last several years, we've seen other states who have stand up to build their ecosystems, including in Washington, Oregon, San Diego, California, which has a population size of 1.4 million, very similar to Hawaii, as well as in Alaska. And so I stand in support of this because I urge that we really prioritize and bring in expert support to really help catalyze the work here in Hawaii. Mahalo.
Thank you. Next up, Jacob Wienek, individual in support. Then we have 18 other individuals that are also in support of this measure. Anybody else wishing to testify on the measure? Seeing none, members, any questions? Senator Favela.
Yeah, just gonna quickly, so why are we, going with a third-party consultant and not utilizing, the expertise within HTDC or the University of Hawaii?
As you can see by the variety of testimony, the ocean tech sector here is pun intended vast. And the challenge with Hawaii is we need to make sure everyone is working in a coordinated fashion. And by allowing us to bring in third-party consultants, we can utilize the expertise of folks, whether it's facilitation, whether it's strategic planning, in order to make sure that we are all moving together in the same direction as a state when it comes to our ocean tech strategy.
Oh, so the question is that we don't have anybody that we can, within the HCDC and the university?
Internally, we don't have anyone HCDC with
university.
ocean tech. At the university, I think there's expertise when it relates to like individual ocean technology, but in terms of expertise of bringing everyone together in a coordinated fashion, I am unaware of anyone that can do that.
The thing is, you heard in other hearings, again, we get a consultant here, consultant there, a consultant is consulting a consultant. We just kind of, instead of working within, yeah, you know what I mean? So my next question, a quick one then. Will the statewide blue economy strategy for economy especially protection, the trades, local ocean industry, and small scale fishery and agriculture? Within this thing, is that gonna be able to strategize and include these specific people with their local economy?
Correct. When we do the strategic plan, we're going to be inclusive of all aspects that make sense for Hawaii to focus on.
No, the reason why I just, again, I don't want to keep harping on this consultant thing, because it finds a really hard time to find out that we don't have somebody that can, with the expertise, and we're surrounded by water and whatnot, and we will get somebody who probably surrounded by forests, coming over here and telling us about our water. So it just kind of bothers me that we're gonna get a third-party consultant, and then we cannot try to see if we can find somebody here in the islands or within the department where you say Kenai or the university that could actually tackle this. I'm pretty sure we have a good program at the university.
Our intention would be to find someone based in Hawaii.
Okay, thank you, Chair.
Senator Kim?
So have you contacted the University of Hawaii, at Hilo, SOAS, DLNR?
Specifically about this, or just in general about the ocean tech sector?
No, about this, about providing information regarding it, instead of going to a third party.
Since I started HCDC, we've held multiple sessions around the ocean tech ecosystem, and we brought folks from all these sectors to the Entrepreneur Sandbox to meet and discuss. And one thing they clearly said was they needed someone to help coordinate everyone together. It's a clear need from the university, from the private sector. Everyone told us the same thing.
Okay, so there's nobody in your realm that can do that, coordinate somebody? Or you can't hire somebody to coordinate?
We currently do not have any vacant positions to hire anyone to fill the
Yeah,
role.
but you're asking for money to hire an outsider, right?
Right, because we don't have any positions to hire, so we would
Right,
need
but
to hire
hiring
outsiders.
consultants sometimes duplicates existing public capacity, and then it sends a message that we don't have any trust in our own institutions. I mean, we shouldn't be bypassing them, because when you say a third-party consultant, we don't know where that third-party consultant can come from. And then if they come from the mainland, consultants leave when the contract ends, they take the institutional knowledge with them, and the state remains dependent upon outside firms, which is clearly what's happening in a lot of our departments right now, which is why we have a bill that looking at hiring of these consultants. And then consultant contracts usually exceed initial budgets, and then it is non-measurable deliverables, and then the reports that they put out sits on the shelf for long periods of time. So I guess those are the concerns I have, Madam Chair.
The only comment I have is I think I was brought onto this position to make sure any strategic plan we create does not sit on a shelf.
So you're going to force us to read it? You're going to force legislators to read
It would
it?
be for HTDC to implement the plan.
Okay, yeah, well, hope so. We'll hold you accountable.
Please do.
Trung, so to what extent does HTDC support a blue economy initiatives?
Blue economy is our top two priorities. It's ocean and space. So we definitely need this blue economy strategy in order to move forward.
So there's another bill that seeks to establish an Office of Marine Affairs in HTDC. So why do we need a consultant?
I think that bill was introduced after this bill was introduced, and I'm happy to have a conversation about that bill when we have that hearing. I think they're very complementary. And this bill is about a consultant, which is a one-year commitment of funds, whereas I think the other bill asks for a full-time equivalent for HTDC.
So then the first Office of Marine Affairs was established in 1974, and DBID published a report, Hawaii and the Sea, which contained similar objectives relating to ocean-related economic development. So what this bill proposes is not new. What have we done in the past 52 years since the report was published?
Can I get
And I
back
know
to
you
you on
just
that
came
one?
on, yeah. So, I mean, that would be helpful for
Okay,
us to know.
will do.
We can get back to us.
So another report that sat on the shelf for all these years.
Thank you. Any other, Senator Wakai?
I think the community definitely needs this report and the findings here. My concern, though, is just the $500,000 figure. I mean, I remember Hatch did a very comprehensive aquaculture report, I want to say 2 years ago. And I'm pretty sure it was not nearly as expensive as this. How'd you come up with the 500 grand?
I think it's estimates based on different roles to take an idea of like the blue economy. How do we gather the folks? How do we do the right research necessary? And how do we involve enough stakeholders so that when we come up with a comprehensive plan, we have the support of everyone in the ecosystem. Obviously, it's an estimate, right? And if we are able to work for less than that, I think we can find a way.
Okay, so, if this bill moves on, I think that you should have some conversations with other people who have done kind of similar type studies and find out how much of it can you take from that, so you don't have to reinvent the entire wheel on aquaculture per se, which I know is only a small segment of this entire comprehensive look, and then come back with a better figure, because I just think $500,000 is too rich for this consultant.
I understand. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Favela.
Yeah, so just the consultants are not subject to public service ethics, and in the same way, directly accountable to the voters, primarily invested in the community outcome. You see what I'm saying? You can get a consultant. Are they going to be subject to, like what we're subject to? Okay, let me say this again. So they're directly accountable to the voters.
I think what he's saying is that whereas employees of the departments are subject to us, but
ethics, yeah.
Consultants, outside consultants are not bound by ethics. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yes, they will not be state employees.
Yeah, let me put that in a bill.
No, I think, why wouldn't we hire somebody to bring people together, local expertise, and hire them to be on staff if that's so important? And the blue economy is so important that why wouldn't we have that instead of a consultant that going to add fees and cost more than paying somebody here in our local economy?
I think the role of the consultant, we're asking for 1 year so they can help us draft the strategy, but once we have a clear direction, then we would come to Ledge to ask for the position. And fortunately, there is another bill during this Ledge session that assigns a full-time equivalent to HCDC. So there are options, and we're willing to work with Ledge to figure out what the best path
Again, we
forward
rely
is.
too much on consultants.
It was just just one more follow-up, Chair. Just our determination for the, having, again, a consultant primarily with Native Hawaiian knowledge, again, having treat our Iki Kapuna stakeholders, input, cultural knowledge would have long-term, and failure to, again, center community stewardship. So again, when you're talking about ocean like that, I understand what you're saying, having this consultant to organize these people, yeah? But you gotta understand, ocean, everything, the INA, everything comes with culture, yeah?
100%.
So you're gonna have somebody over here from Whiteville, I might be racist, but from someplace else, they're not gonna have any for our people. Every time we left out, right? We come to our Iwi Kapuna or anything like that, it's gonna be left out. So again, that's why we're trying to emphasize that if you like us, give you guys 500,000, right, to do this, okay, and you don't have the capability of having this person within over there. Did you come up with one situation that you would want to hire, talk to us here as legislators, get one bill to put in to specify in your department, or go to DEFER and see if you guys can put this together in words to have somebody here locally?
Yeah, I would just add that for HCDC, a key part of our strategy is very much inclusive of Native Hawaiian values and regenerative framework. Like, it's very important to me that that's front and center of everything we do here at HCDC.
Right, so again, that's the only thing. So I mean, you guys gonna put this together when it comes to the industry, but again, the question that I have is that moving forward with the 500,000, don't you think that would be good to look into? I mean, again, we have a lot of positions that is not filled in a lot of department, but wouldn't you think this would be important enough to maybe put in a bill or ask for a position like this within the department?
I agree.
Because if it's that important to the community and organizing, and you was having all of these discussions about with the guys at the sandbox and what you was gonna put into perspective, and you really needed this position because you needed really to put somebody together. I don't know when you had the meeting, right? I don't know when you had the meeting. So if you had the meeting, if you thought it was something that you really needed, you could have put in a bill, ask the chair or whatever DEFER to see if we can get a position within your department. And then we're gonna have somebody at least is accountable to all what I just had asked about earlier, right?
Happy to agree with that direction moving forward as well. Thank you.
Last question, Madam Chair. How many consultants are you looking for? Just one?
This would be for multiple consultants.
Multiple consultants? Okay, now, yeah, because I see that in your thing. So why you need multiple consultants?
I think based on the conversation, we might require different skill sets from a consultant, that maybe if you pick one, you're really relying on them to be a jack of all trades. And for us to really have meaningful impact, we need to make sure we have the right expertise, depending on the topic or the focus of the conversation at the time.
So, again, you don't have the University of Hawaii. You can't get multiple ideas from the University of Hawaii from locals already. Okay, you know what? You don't have to answer that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to Senate Bill 3168, testifying for Hawaii Technology Development Corporation, Trump Lab.
Standard written testimony.
Thank you. Next up, Lauren Zerbo, Hawaii Food Industry Association on Zoom.
Not present on Zoom, Chair.
Thank you. Next up, Clara Lee, in support. Thank you. Pam Tumpop, in support from Hawaii Chamber of Commerce. Barbara Logan, for Uncle's Ice Cream, in support. Charlie Field, Parmac Technologies, in support. Carlo Liguido, PE Cool Company, in support. We have 9 other people in support, as well as, Chamber of Commerce of Hawaii.
The Chamber of Commerce stands on his written testimony in support.
Thank you. And then Doreen Wong.
I stand in support of this.
Thank you. Anybody else wishing to testify on the measure? Seeing none, members, any questions?
Yeah.
Senator Favela.
Since the uncertainty of the federal money and all that, so how are we going to ensure that the matching funds available exact moment when the federal awards is made? If we're not certain what's happening, because we're asking, now if the $10 million funded are depleted by high value grants is a single fiscal year, what mechanism is existing to replenish it before the next legislative session?
I didn't think that far through. That'd be great if we were able to deplete those funds in 1 year and then have to worry about replenishing it within that same fiscal year. I would imagine if we were able to do what we said we're going to do, which is bring in a lot of federal dollars to match with these state dollars, that the following year when we come back with the ask to replenish, it would look favorably at ledge that we were able to bring in so many federal dollars to the state of Hawaii.
So how secure is, I don't think I use that word secure, but how good feeling you might have about securing the federal dollars?
Well, I will say in the last 3 to 5 years, Hawaii has missed out on about $300 million of federal grants when it comes to economic development. And we currently have an eye on about $100 million coming in the next year or two that we could potentially win. So I tend to be optimistic that we can bring in the federal dollars that would require this state match.
Thank you, Chair. Appreciate it.
Any other questions? Chung, how much in federal grants have you guys attracted? And how much in state matching funds did you need to obtain?
Gosh, I wish I had a total number. I can get you the total number, but depending on the different programs. So under MEP, we get about $800,000 a year that requires a 50% match. A lot of that can be in kind, so it's not just cash. SSBCI, which is our federal money that we get for venture capital, we don't have to require a match, but it requires a 50% match from the venture capital firms that receive that money. And that's The SSBCI program is $60 million, but our venture side is about $20 million.
So the bill requesting 10 million in general funds for deposit into the revolving fund. So how much in federal funds would that get for the state?
It could get a one-to-one match, it could be 20, but up to, because some federal bills only require a 20% match, so it could be a 5X leverage.
Thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none, moving on to Senate Bill 3227, relating to Hawaii Technology Development Corporation. First up, Chung Lam, Hawaii Technology Development.
Stand on my written testimony.
Thank you. Next up, Clara Lee. Thank you. Next up, Valerie Harmon, testifying for Namaka LG in support. Again, we have 15, sorry, 15 other people in support. Chamber of Commerce of Hawaii.
Afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, Chamber of Commerce, and on written testimony in support.
Thank you. Doreen Wong. Thank you. And then Randall John Francisco also in support. Anybody else wishing to testify on the measure? Seeing none, members, any questions?
Question.
Senator Kim?
So the monies you're requesting, approximately how much?
I believe it's asking for $1 million for each of the 3 programs.
1 million each.
Yes.
Okay, and you don't have any training programs now?
Small business training / accelerator programs, or just training programs? We do a lot of
You're
training.
asking for money for these training programs. So I
Correct.
want to know, you don't do any training now?
We do small business training that we get through federal funding, which is around accounting, legal, and financial training. We are currently running through this accelerator, so we have funding for this year for the accelerator program that we're going through the review process for companies that apply for that program. We have some training through Department of Energy for energy efficiency we're working through as well. So we have multiple training programs currently, but not the same as what this program does.
So you don't have training for manufacturing assistance program?
The manufacturing assistance program also covers training in the cost of that for the equipment that they
So
purchase.
you have training already for that?
If so the companies go out and get the training and we reimburse them 20%.
Okay, so I guess I'm wondering, what is this money's going for? $1 million each program, that's $3 million.
So they're all kind of different. So the HSBIR program matches companies that are awarded federal SBIR grants, so allows them to continue their work with money that's much more, I guess, flexible than what the federal government gives them. So it helps support them as they develop their technology and commercialize it. Excuse me. For the MAP, the $1 million is a pass-through 20% grant rebate that reimburses companies 20% for their equipment, training, equipment and training costs for their equipment. And then the small business training / accelerator funds companies going out there doing small business training, and they can come in with a RFP for what they're offering, what type of training they're offering. So it varies.
This is new, right? Or this is
These are the
ongoing?
same 3 core programs that HCDC has had.
Right, but
for-
the
for a bit.
monies, have you asked monies every year for these programs?
Correct. We ask for funding every year for these
So
programs.
$1 million every year to run these training programs for all 3?
Yes.
Thank you.
Any other question? Senator Wakai.
Chung, I want to focus on SBIR and manufacturing because I see the necessity for us to help in these 2 areas, but what to me is still troublesome is that you see the same cast of characters feeding year after year after year. And they don't spin out companies, they just ask for money to help get researchers paid in their organization. I mean, if you get any amounts of monies here, can we tighten this up so that you get to bite at the apple in 2026, you don't come back and bite at the same apple in 27 and later years. You have to sit on the bench for a year or 2 years or what have you, because it's the usual folks, right? The oceanists, the Pacific Marine guys are always feeding. There's not you're not touching various sectors of our economy, the same people who are feeding year after year? How do we get to helping spread this fertilizer around to more companies that might need some assistance?
Thank you for that question. So this is for SBIR 2 and 3. So this is for companies that have gotten an SBIR level 1 and they've extended beyond, taken the next step towards commercialization. The federal program, the SBIR program, is currently being reset as well, and they're trying to encourage less of that repeat SBIR mill type of behavior and more encouraging companies to go into commercialization. So on the federal side, they're already pushing that way. So companies that win federal SBIR will have already been vetted to be like, okay, you have a higher chance of commercializing. But I will say, like, commercialization is really hard. Innovation is really hard. So I don't want to disincentivize companies to keep trying, even if they get some federal dollars and they try to commercialize and they don't make it. Like, I don't want to penalize them to not try again. I do want to encourage more companies to apply who are newer so that more companies can benefit from this program. So I think the way we have it set up, we do have a preference towards first-time applicants in our scoring mechanism. So if we can encourage that more and have more companies applying, I think you will see less of a concentration in Hawaii.
But still, after years, I don't know how many years we've been funding SBIR. And I think the MAP one is within the past 6 years or so, that nobody has spun out a company from any of this. We're just funding researchers in the companies that are in the technology sector. I mean, this thing has to be focused on, Oceanet, and not to pick on them, or Pacific Marine. Here's a chunk of money, and we have an expectation that you're gonna create jobs, not more research jobs within your own company, but you're gonna spin something out and show the public that there was a good investment of taxpayer monies to grow the economy. None of that is taking place. All we're doing is continuing to fund researchers.
Mm-hmm.
How do we get to that? How do we get to the greater good? That if we cannot continue to fund research for the sake of research. We have the University of Hawaii to do that. Your job is to help grow the economy.
Correct.
And we're not growing the economy by giving these guys $1 million to eat on every year.
I think that's up to us at HCDC to ensure that we provide the services to support these companies beyond just this SBIR match. Like, how do we connect you to the right customers? What services do you need in order to take it to that next level? And it's important for us to, again, part of our strategy is to be the field catalyst and look at the whole ecosystem and the whole cycle of going from incubation to R&D to commercialization all the way to the end user and growing our economy, because we are very much focused on that. I think this is a piece of the puzzle that we should keep, but you're right, we should do more to ensure that the resources we give them now aren't wasted.
Okay, thank you, Charles. Thank you.
Senator Favela.
Okay, so just along on a question to that. So since this program, like Senator Wakai said, and every year, how much did we grow in the manufacturing? How much did we grow since you said you've been coming every year, right, for this? And we've been getting manufacturing. How much new manufacturing jobs since this program existed? And
Senator, I can get you the information. I don't have it off the top of my head, but I do know every year we do a survey for companies who receive MAP grants, and we ask them those questions like, how much did your company grow in revenue? How much did you grow in headcount? And I can get that to you. But it's been good, positive growth. I know that. I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, though.
Can you send that to us when you have it? Please?
Yes.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Okay, next up, Senate Bill 3228 relating to sustainable tourism infrastructure. First up, Chamber of Commerce.
The Chair and Vice Chair, members of the committee, Tom McCoy extends their testimony and support.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to testify on the measure? Seeing none, members, any questions?
Let's see. 3228.
Yeah,
Yeah, DBID.
okay. We like debid or?
Yeah, DBID.
Debid. Since you pranced in so quietly.
Well, this calls for a grant program. I guess I want to know the difference between this grant program and the earlier one we just talked about, 3049.
Senator, this is not an admin bill. We didn't submit testimony, but I think a bill like this, as we went through it, would be helpful to the industry, if they can get this one-time capital infusion. But as far as the details of it, I'd have to get back to you on exactly what that would be.
Okay, but you testified in favor of the first one, the intent, right?
Yeah.
So you did the grant capability, but then this is also a grant, so I guess I'm wondering
Well,
similarities,
yes, what happened
differences?
was, it was my understanding that HTA was gonna send testimony on this bill, not my office, but I'm here in case a question came up. I don't know all the details of it, but I will get back to you. And again, just looking at what it does, I think it would be good for the industry, it would be good for any of the businesses that would
Okay.
apply and get awarded, sorry.
So, okay, because it says there is established within the Department of Business and Economic Development and Tourism. So whether HTA was going to come and testify, it is establishing it in your department.
Yeah.
And so saying that, do you folks have, again, the same question I asked earlier, how much is this gonna be, and do you have the capability with personnel and everything to take this on? I know it's not your bill, but it is, so, if it does pass and go into your department, these are
Well,
stuff that you're gonna have to
certainly,
deal with, right?
if it moves to the next committee, which I'm assuming it is, we will have a better idea of what the amount could be, what we'd be asking to support, because we support the intent of the bill. It's just the details that I can't give it to you right now, Senator, I'm sorry.
Okay, well, the devil is always in the details, right?
Agreed.
Thank you.
Senator Mokai.
This grant program has good intentions about climate resiliency, but I think a lot of us are concerned about what the dollar figure is and where is that money coming from. Can we just take it from the green fee? I mean, I know the administration has given us $120 million in recommendations, but ultimately it's up to the legislature,
Sure.
not the governor, to figure out how to spend that money. So we could potentially, if this bill moves forward and we want to fund it, use the green fees to fund this climate infrastructure for tourism, correct?
That is my understanding, Senator, that the governor will submit his list and you folks will review his list, and you may make your own list, and that is exactly that process. So, yes, you're absolutely right.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you.
And as far as what the dollar amount would be, you guys have the total purse strings control, and we understand that.
Thank you.
Director, how much you guys need to fund the Sustainable Tourism Infrastructure Matching Grant Program?
Okay, so, when the legislature passed the tax credits to do beach walk, there was a big infusion of development on that area because they got tax credits to develop the area. So you could go anywhere from $100 million to, $2, $3, or $4, $5 million. It depends on what the appetite of the legislature is to fund. So it will go back to the question that Senator Wakai asked is, at the end of the day, if you folks decide that it's going to come from the green fee, there's $100 million a year from that, but of course, there's many, many, many other projects, so
So the beach walk had matching funds from the state?
it was a tax
It
credit,
was the tax credit?
yes.
Thank you.
And if you remember, that whole area was in bad shape before, but the developers and the industry put money, they developed it because they could get, the credit, and they did. But they also turned around a beautiful development for that beach walk. And I don't know, that was maybe 20 years ago. I forget exactly when it was. I
Thank
know
you.
some of you might have been here, but that's what we got for that tax credit.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Next up, Senate Bill 3278 relating to tax expenditure evaluation. First up, Director Debate. Fioka.
I'm gonna stand on my testimony support, and I'm here to answer any questions that you folks may have.
Thank you. Next up, Department of Taxation.
Good afternoon.
afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, Senator Harrison for Department of Taxation. I'll stand on our written comments and hear questions.
Thank you. Next up, Tom Yamachika, Tax Foundation of Hawaii on Zoom.
Thank you, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. Tom Yamachika from Tax Foundation. We have some concerns about this bill. It basically requires a significant population to file 2 tax returns, one with DBET and one with DO tax. People who only file 1 tax return are going to have problems. They will go nuts. We don't think this is necessary because the state auditor is already tasked with evaluating the credits and exemptions on either a 5 or 7 year rolling cycle. And that's provided in Chapter 23 HRS. And if it is necessary, it's, I think, the better way to go is to just open the information pipeline from DO tax to DBED, and they'll get the information in, I think, a more reliable manner. Happy to answer any questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody wishing to testify on the measure? Seeing none, members, any questions? Senator Wakai.
No tax? So I look at DBET's testimony, and they said that they kind of feel uncomfortable with getting all this tax information. And your testimony indicates there's like some, confidentiality things that we need to really be concerned about. What if we gave this responsibility to you?
I'm sure they'd love that.
Oh, okay, go,
No.
sure, go tell your boss that. Would you take this on?
I can't say we wouldn't. I would have to go back, obviously talk to the director, but I think we have all that information, so, so not sharing it makes sense in that. It gets rid of those issues that are raised there, so. Certainly an idea that we should look at then.
Okay, but I know you could collect all the data, but do you have the expertise to analyze the data as to, is this tax credit worth value? What's its value to the community?
Right.
All of that, all those benefits?
That's a good question too. We certainly have our tax research and planning department, but they're more in summarizing and getting to that bottom line result versus saying the bigger picture of how is it affecting the community. So I can check and get back to you on that.
Senator Kim. I have a question. Would it be more efficient if the legislature proposed elimination of all these tax credits and exemptions? And if there was insufficient support to keep them, they would be eliminated?
Would it be, I'm sorry, what was the first part? Would it be
I say, would it be
easier?
more efficient?
More efficient.
If the legislature proposed elimination of all the tax credits?
Efficient for the state? Yes. I mean, I can't say that it wouldn't be.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Debate. Just trying to make your job a little easier. If the bill passes, do you currently have the expertise and staff who can evaluate the tax records from DOTAX?
If I may bring up David Kali'i-Holokai, I think you've met him before, and he's been working on a film tax credit specifically, but for DBET, and in this budget, as was talked about before, we're trying to make his position permanent department-wide under ASO and DBET, so that all these types of things that come up, we have one person who will be overseeing all of that, including energy and the film tax credit and HTDC. So we do have, I believe, we have an expert that can do that if the position gets funded, and he's sitting right here.
Hello, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. My name is David Kiliolakai. I manage the Hawaii Film Tax Credit Program. So after analyzing SB 3278, we believe there's a way to change this to where it works for adult tax, the privacy issues, and with DBET. Currently, we do track, so we provide an annual report from READ showing you guys the total production spend, economic impact, tax credit claim. The issue is the timing of it. So tax credit claim for the credit we give to the filers, or we are awarding the filers, it's not the actual amount they're going to be receiving. It's not down to the penny because adult tax needs to review, they have their income tax return. So the purpose of the tax credit is to offset liability at first, and it's a refundable tax credit after the fact. So we don't know the actual amount, so we're not able to provide that. We can only provide based on the production spend for that year. The issue with this is that we don't we cannot guarantee when the review will be approved by DOTAX. So, for example, when we provide you the report, it's by end of year, right? For DOTAX, we don't know when they're going to be reviewing, how long it's going to take for them to review, to approve of the tax credit. So the timing of it, I cannot put a set deadline on that. But if we can get DOTAX to provide us that information, at least the actual tax credit that they provided, we can get you the economic impact on them because we have read to do that, but we need the numbers for that, if that helps.
So I guess my question for DOTAX is, can you guys do that? Provide the numbers in a timely manner?
Well, again, a great question. You know, the problem with getting to the final numbers is that people file their taxes, they may have done it wrong, they may have withheld something, so there's a whole process in trying to get the numbers to match, which takes time. Also, certain things get audited, so that takes time. They're under audit, and that can go on and on. So it just depends on the particular, you know, I'm thinking of film credit, for one, and things like that. So can we get numbers? Yeah. How accurate they are, it's the same kind of issue as when.
So normally, like when they put in for the film tax credit, you guys have had discrepancies before? Or
So when
has
they
it
apply
been
for,
yeah.
when they initially apply, so we do an audit, but a light audit, not as heavy as DOTAX. So on average, we audit about 30% of their total expenditures, and that's a lot. There's just thousands and thousands of line items, like purchases from Walmart, McDonald's, in detail for receipts. We confirm to make sure that every business that they're getting with has a GET, or if it's or qualified for out of state. So we do that detail work, and even then, there are mistakes made that we have to catch from the beginning. So so the timing for 2025 filers, we opened it up from January 1st. They have to submit all their documentation by March 31st of this year. We review it from April 1st, and then we try to give ourselves a deadline of until July or August to complete the review, our audit. And then once it's approved by Director Tokioka or Deputy Director Dane Wicker, then we submit that over we provide the certificate letter to the filers, and then from then, it's up to them when they want to include that within their income tax return. But they have until the end of the year. So August, so if we release it in August, they only have until December to submit that. So that's timing already. And then DOTAX has to review it. So it is challenging.
Thank you. Senator Favela.
Yeah, just, what I guess, specific criteria will DBED use to determine the long-standing tax credits that's no longer effective, fair, or aligns with public priorities?
So can you repeat that, please?
Just basically what is working and what is not working, and what is the priorities.
Yeah. Thank you, Georgia Skinner, Creative Industries Division, DVED. The priorities are to incentivize and make sure that our local people continue to get work here. So the film credit, we believe, does do that. Also with research and development, we also manage. And so at this point in time, David handling both. I would say that they are incentivizing in the correct way, but the need, as this bill points out, for additional transparency and additional information on the economic impacts from the spend to the actual economic impacts within the state is something that we, again, support. That's why we offered comments so that we could get to a point where we could collaborate then with DOTAX. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, so the reason why I asked that is because, again, we're doing the tax credit, which is great. And you're talking about local jobs and helping the local economy. But previously, before the shortfall and the downfall of the industry, besides the tax credits, previously we had tax credits. That wasn't the case. Again, we had shows that wasn't meeting the minimum criteria. And I brought this up before, you guys, and that was Temptation Island. Every year or whatever, they apply for the tax credits, and they was getting them, even though they was already seen and known, and I guess documented that they wasn't doing that. Majority of the guys in the beginning part of the first few seasons, maybe 4 or 5, none of them was what the criteria was for getting the tax credit, but they still got, even though we notified you guys before Jimmy, director coming on board, and they were still getting the tax credits. The reason why I bring that up again is because we are trying to get everybody to the table, and then when we go over there, we let you guys know, because I went there as a, I guess, a standby, right, for see what was happening. So every single person was a IASI worker, driving the trucks, driving the machines, everything, and nobody contact the other union, which is, I guess at the time, so it had been Teamsters. And when this was brought up again, twice, they still got qualified, and they still got the tax credits. So how are we gonna prevent these bad actors not getting any more tax credit? Because again, we always use that word, we're gonna boost up the economy to help the local people, the local industry, but that's the guys who's suffering. Even when the tax credit was adequate, you know? So again, how, I mean, I guess I know we tried to do this bill, but again, going forward, how are we gonna ensure that, again, the priorities is for our people going forward? Because that's the kind, because when they let you guys know in an email, or you guys are let know in an email, and then that following year or that same year, they qualify.
So I'd like to, thank you, Senator, and I do appreciate the intent of the comments that you made, because in the past has been the past, and we're very proud of the way that the program is managed now under David. However, I think that there were qualifying aspects of what they did, and we normally, as a department, don't get involved in any additional union negotiations, but the way that we have corrected it is to be able to additionally scrutinize and also to notify all entertainment labor unions, including the Teamsters, on when productions were coming in. Case in point was this last year, and David can speak to that. I think it was 2024 and 25, where we ensured that all of that information, the filer, any of the productions have to agree to allow us to do that. And that was the first step in the right direction. David?
I can talk more about it.
Yeah, we'd
we can
have
go into more
to talk
detail.
to you offline about it.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Chair.
Any other questions? Seeing none, short recess. Okay, reconvening back for decision-making. First up, Senate Bill 2072. After careful consideration, I think this bill needs a whole lot more work, and maybe they can work on that and try to figure out Michelin guide, Michelin tire, maybe grips, no grips. I don't know, but hopefully we can work on that. So I will defer this bill. Next up, Senate Bill 3049, relating to trade-oriented production capacity grant program. We will be passing with an SD1 by making any technical non-substantive amendments as necessary and blanking out the appropriation amount on page 5 and defecting the effective date to July 1st, 2050. Members, any discussion?
Madam Chair, I think that another entity can handle this better, so I'm going to vote in opposition.
Okay.
Same here, Chair.
Senator Vella? Okay. Okay, okay, members, with that being said, Senate Bill 3049, I'm going to defer this bill as well. Okay, moving on, Senate Bill 3166, relating to Hawaii Technology Development Corporation, passing with an SD1 by making any technical non-substantive amendments as necessary and blanking out the appropriation amounts on pages 2 and 3 and defecting the effective date to July 1st, 2050. Any discussion? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote, Chair goes aye.
I vote yes. Senator Fukunaga, excuse Senator Kim.
Aye.
Senator Favela.
Aye.
Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you. Next up, Senate Bill 3167, relating to Hawaii Technology Development Corporation, passing with an SD1 by making any technical and non-substantive amendments as necessary and blanking out the appropriation amount on pages 6 and effecting the effective date to July 1st, 2050. Any discussion? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote, Chair goes aye.
I vote yes. Senator Fukunaga, excuse Senator Kim.
Madam Chair, due to this consultant issue, I'm voting no.
Okay.
Senator Favela.
Voting no too.
Chair, your recommendation is not adopted.
Okay, thank you. Senate Bill 3168, relating to economic development, passing with an SD1 by making any technical non-substantive amendments as necessary, blanking out the appropriation amount on pages 6 and defecting the effective date to July 1st, 2015. 2050. Members, any discussion? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote, Chair goes aye.
I vote yes. Senator Fukunaga, excuse Senator Kim.
Aye.
Senator Favela.
Aye.
Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you. Next up, Senate Bill 3227, relating to the Hawaii Technology Development Corporation, passing with an SD1 by making any technical and non-substantive amendments as necessary and blanking out the appropriation amounts on pages 2 and 3 and effecting the effective date to July 1st, 2015. 2050, sorry. Members, any discussion? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote, Chair goes aye.
I vote yes. Senator Fukunaga, excuse Senator Kim.
Reservations.
Senator Favela.
Reservations.
Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you. And the last bill, next bill, Senate Bill 3228, relating to sustainable tourism infrastructure, passing with an SD1 by making any technical non-substantive amendments as necessary and blanking out the appropriation amount on page 6 and effecting the effective date to July 1st, 2050. Any discussion? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote, Chair goes aye.
I vote yes. Senator Fukunaga, excuse Senator Kim.
Reservations.
Senator Favela.
Reservations.
Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you. And the last bill, Senate Bill 3278, relating to tax expenditure evaluation, passing with an SD1 by making any technical non-substantive amendments as necessary. Section 3 requires DOTAX to provide DBED with information requested by DBED pursuant to the new section in Chapter 201, but the new section does not have corresponding language. Insert a new subsection in 201- to address this inconsistency and incorporate amendments recommended by DOTAX in their testimony. Any discussion? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote, Chair goes aye.
I vote yes. Senator Fukunaga, excuse Senator Kim.
Aye.
Senator Favela.
Aye.
Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you. With that, we are adjourned. Members, we also have a 110 agenda for decision-making. The purpose of this decision-making is to insert substantive provisions into the following short-form bill. A public hearing will be scheduled at a later date, at which time public testimony will be accepted for Senate Bill 26 proposed SD1. This bill exempts the Hawaii Tourism Authority's contracts or agreements for sports projects and events and marketing activities from the Hawaii Public Procurement Code and all other requirements of law for competitive bidding. Members, any questions? Seeing none, the chair's recommendation should be to pass the bill with amendments and recommit it back to Economic Development and Tourism. The amendments are to insert the contents of the proposed draft 1. Okay, with that, Vice Chair for the vote, Chair goes aye.
I vote yes. Senator Fukunaga, excuse Senator Kim.
Aye.
Senator Favela.
Aye.
Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you, members. With that, we are adjourned.